Welcome back to Hydrohaven, fellow garden enthusiasts. Today we're diving into one of gardening's most fascinating paradoxes, biochar, an ancient soil amendment that's simultaneously thousands of years old and cutting-edge modern. If you've been struggling with poor soil retention, nutrient leaching, or simply want to take your garden to the next level while reducing your carbon footprint, you're in for a treat. Biochar might just be the garden ally you never knew you needed. Biochar's story begins over 2,500 years ago in the Amazon basin, where indigenous peoples created what we now call terra preta, or black earth. These incredibly fertile soils were deliberately engineered by adding charcoal, bone, and pottery fragments to the otherwise poor tropical soils. Modern archaeologists discovered that these amended soils remain extraordinarily fertile to this day, a testament to biochar's remarkable longevity. What ancient Amazonians knew intuitively we're now rediscovering with scientific backing. Biochar creates a permanent improvement to soil structure and function that continues working for centuries. At its most basic, biochar is simply charcoal created specifically for soil amendment rather than fuel. It's produced by heating organic material, wood, crop residues, even manure, in a low-oxygen environment, a process called pyrolysis. Unlike burning, which releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, pyrolysis locks carbon into a stable form that can remain in soil for hundreds to thousands of years. The result is a lightweight, highly porous material with an enormous surface area. Just 1 gram of biochar can have a surface area equivalent to several tennis courts. This remarkable structure creates the perfect habitat for beneficial soil microorganisms while holding on to water and nutrients that would otherwise wash away. Why should today's gardeners care about biochar? The benefits are substantial and wide-ranging. First, biochar creates a permanent improvement to soil structure. Unlike compost or mulch, which break down relatively quickly, biochar stays intact in your soil, working year after year. Its high porosity increases water retention by up to 22% in some soils, meaning less frequent watering and better drought resistance for your plants. Biochar also acts as a hotel for beneficial microorganisms. Those microscopic pores provide the perfect protected environment for mycorrhizal fungi and beneficial bacteria to thrive. These organisms form the foundation of the soil food web, helping your plants access nutrients more efficiently. Studies show that biochar-amended soils typically demonstrate improved nutrient availability, particularly for phosphorus and potassium. Perhaps most relevant to our changing climate, biochar represents one of the few ways gardeners can actively sequester carbon. When you make and apply biochar, you're literally taking carbon that would otherwise enter the atmosphere and locking it safely away in your soil for centuries. It's gardening with a climate-positive impact. Creating your own biochar at home is both satisfying and straightforward, though it does require careful attention to safety. Let's walk through the process step by step. First, gather your feedstock. Hardwoods like oak, maple, or fruit trees make excellent biochar, but you can also use bamboo, pine cones, nutshells, corn cobs, or even paper. The key is using dry, carbon-rich material. Avoid treated lumber, plastic, or anything containing chemicals. Next, you'll need a way to create a low-oxygen burn. There are several methods ranging from simple to complex. The simplest approach is the pit method. Dig a trench or pit about 2 feet deep. Start a fire in the bottom using kindling, then gradually add your feedstock. Once it's burning well, cover it partially with soil or metal, allowing just enough air to maintain a smoldering burn, but not a full flame. You'll know it's working when you see primarily white smoke rather than yellow flames. After several hours, when the material has turned black throughout, douse it thoroughly with water to stop the process. For those wanting more control, a double barrel method works well. Take 2 metal drums of different sizes. Drill holes around the bottom of the smaller drum and place your feedstock inside it. Set this drum inside the larger one, with the space between barrels filled with kindling. Light the kindling, which will heat the inner barrel without directly burning the contents. Cover partially with a lid to restrict oxygen flow. This method produces more consistent biochar with less smoke. Whichever method you choose, the key is achieving that sweet spot of heat without full combustion. The finished product should be lightweight, black throughout, and maintain the original shape of the wood or material, though smaller in size. When tapped, it should sound like ceramic rather than wood. Fresh biochar is like an empty sponge, full of potential but not immediately beneficial. In fact, using raw biochar directly in your garden can temporarily reduce plant growth as it absorbs nutrients from the soil before it begins releasing them. The solution is charging or activating your biochar before application. The most effective charging method involves mixing your biochar with compost or compost tea, allowing it to soak for at least 2 weeks. During this time, The biochar's pores fill with nutrients and become colonized by beneficial microorganisms. Other charging options include soaking in worm-casting tea, fish emulsion, or even urine diluted 10-to-1 with water. The ancient Romans knew the fertilizing power of human urine, and it's excellent for charging biochar. For a complete charging solution, try this. Fill a barrel halfway with biochar, then add kitchen scraps, coffee grounds, eggshells, seaweed, and a shovel full of healthy garden soil. Fill with water, cover loosely, and let sit for 2 to 4 weeks, stirring occasionally. The resulting charged biochar will be teeming with microbial life and ready to supercharge your soil. When it comes to applying biochar, more isn't necessarily better. For most garden applications, aim for about 5 to 10% biochar by volume in your soil. For a typical garden bed, this translates to about 2 to 4 quarts of biochar per square yard, worked into the top 6 inches of soil. For established gardens, you can top dress with a thin layer of biochar, allowing it to work its way down naturally over time. For potted plants, mix about 10% biochar into your potting medium. Remember, this is a one-time application that will continue working for years. You don't need to reapply annually like most amendments. The best time to apply biochar is in fall or early spring when you're already working the soil. Combine application with your regular compost addition for maximum benefit. After application, you may notice improvements in soil structure almost immediately, but the full microbial benefits develop over the following months as your soil food web adapts to its new high-rise microbial housing. Occasionally, gardeners report plants yellowing after biochar application. This almost always indicates you've used raw, uncharged biochar that's temporarily tying up soil nitrogen. The solution is simple. Add extra nitrogen fertilizer for the first season, or better yet, ensure your biochar is properly charged before application. Another common question concerns biochar's effect on soil pH. Generally, biochar is slightly alkaline, so if you're growing acid-loving plants like blueberries or azaleas, you may want to use biochar more sparingly, or compensate with acidifying amendments like pine needles or coffee grounds. As we face climate uncertainty, water restrictions, and growing concerns about food security, biochar represents a rare win-win-win solution. It improves soil health permanently, reduces watering needs, and actively sequesters carbon. By making your own biochar, you're participating in a practice that bridges ancient wisdom with cutting-edge climate science. What the ancient Amazonians understood intuitively, we're now confirming with research. Sometimes the most powerful solutions are also the simplest. A piece of charcoal, with its labyrinth of microscopic chambers, can transform poor soil into a thriving ecosystem that grows healthier plants while helping heal our planet. If you've made it this far, you're ready to join the biochar revolution. We'd love to see your biochar creations and hear about your results. Drop a comment below sharing your experiences, and don't forget to subscribe to Hydrohaven for more deep dives into sustainable gardening practices that blend ancient wisdom with modern science. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload, and share this video with a fellow gardener who might benefit from adding biochar to their soil arsenal. Until next time, happy gardening.